Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from asortofinterestinlife.com. You're joining me on board good old Narrowboat Tilly on an unbelievably bright sunny January afternoon, and I think it's about time we headed up over the fields to get a few supplies from the shops, and we are setting out from one of my favourite places in this sort of top end of the Llangollen Canal. So let's get going. We are setting out from the Newmarton Locks area of the canal, and we're heading only over about 3 fields up to St Martin's for anybody interested in looking that up on Google Maps. And as we look over here, you'll see that before I actually set out, the weather turned a little bit darker, so I hope that you'll forgive me for waiting on board for a few minutes for that to pass before we set out. But as you can see, this is such a beautiful day, apart from those terrible passing showers, and we had an awful lot of fun and games, I can tell you, on that day. And when I say we, I'm unfortunately talking only about myself. But as you can see, what an absolutely beautiful place it is to moor up on. Such a fantastic day as well to be there. If you've been following my videos for a while, then you may recognise some of the places in this little trip, as it is just such a beautiful scenic little area that I can't help but just keep getting all these little clips. So I thought I'd film a sort of more round trip, because there's so many little places like this with these lovely little bridges that take you across these little streams and brooks about, that I just really do love it. It's sort of, this is the ultimate definition of rural Shropshire to me. This is exactly the sort of places that I absolutely love to go out walking, and exactly the sort of experience on the doorstep of the boat that made me want to have a boat in the first place. And I suppose it's that sort of thing that's so sort of, well, maybe when I look down at that mud, it's not the specific experience that made me want to have a boat in the first place, but you get the general gist that there's all these wonderful places that I've enjoyed walking out and just generally exploring when I used to live in town, well before I even thought of a boat. And then being able to literally step off the boat into these sort of environments. And not only that, but this is a practical trip up to the shops to get food and supplies. And this is where we are. These are exactly the sorts of things that just make boat life for me personally, and why it sort of has suited me so well since buying Tilly and being able to travel up and down the canal to all of these sort of areas. So looking over the hills there, probably just into Wales, those hills with a little bit of snow still on top. And as we cut across again, we've got all of these wonderful sort of the modern sort of country gates, which they're not as scenic and idyllic as the old wooden stiles and things like that. But I think in the future, people will be looking back at those and going, "Oh, look at them! They were probably put there about 50 years ago, and they've all gone rusty, and they've got dents from goodness knows what's happened." And I don't know. This is a completely rambling commentary. I also understand that, so please also forgive me for that. But really, as I say, I just wanted to share this with you because St Martin's is a place that, well, it's right on the canal, as we've just seen, literally just cutting over about 3 or 4 fields to get to it. You've got this church, which is visible. If you look at that dark sky, look from the boat up the hill, you'll see that church just in the centre of the screen. And it's great to be able to sort of have that as the icon, that you're literally walking towards the church as your ultimate goal, and you can see it from the fields in all these different places. And again, I mean, a day like this, how fantastic is that? At this point, I went down into the village of St Martin's to the shops, and then came back. I didn't bother filming any of the stuff in, as we're just about to leave, just from by the church again, literally just by where the previous footage left off. And it's literally just walking down a street of houses, really, to the shop. So don't worry, you're not missing too much. So at the point that I was in the shop, I discovered, to my horror, that I had locked my keys in the boat. So I was completely locked out. And again, just stopping to enjoy this wonderful bit of mud and classic British countryside sort of, yeah, it's definitely winter. Or it's muddy enough to still be summer, autumn, or any other moment of the year. Again, these are places that I love. This little section here, only just a few foot. It's just fantastic. I mean, you got your stream, you've got your little bridge, and we literally just climbed over a fence. It wasn't even a proper stile, it was just a piece of fencing. So yeah, I'm a big fan of all this sort of area. Anyway, getting back to the key story, despite the fact that I was facing a very long walk or a lot of time spent on a bus to go and get some spare keys from somewhere, I was still not up for rushing and taking the most direct route back. And I think that's something that's really a sign of how boat life has slowly started to change me over the years. That instead of my immediate thing that would have been to panic and be like, oh no, goodness me, this has made a load of hassle. And on the day that I was filming a day in the life video and all that, I just took me time and enjoyed the rest of the walk. And as we got back, I was amazed to discover I'd left my keys in one of the few places that I could actually take one of the hooks keeping the kayak on the roof and fish the keys out through a window. So that was an amazing result that I was very happy with, but something I've got to make sure I don't do again for security reasons, obviously. Anyway, on that note, I'll say thank you very much for watching. Feel free to check out my other videos for loads of walking and biking and obviously boat life too. Feel free to add me personally on Facebook and Twitter, and of course like the Facebook page if you want to see loads of random photos and general updates from life on the canal. Feel free also, if you're so interested, to check out my books available for the Kindle. They're nice, short, simple reads that I hope you'll enjoy. Just search The Narrowboat Lad on Amazon or check the links to everything just mentioned in the description below. Until the next time, keep it boot worthy, keep it boat worthy, and farewell.